This is in the in-between for July 9th, 2026. And this is kind of a follow-on to last week's episode. We're going to have more coffee. We're going to have it in a slightly different setting now. You know, our industry has been in the news for the last couple of years, I suppose, where you get the conversation about commissions being somewhat decoupled. Buyers' agents have to have an agreement with the buyers they're working for to show them homes. They have to advise that buyer how much their fee is for such services. That's been going on since August of 2024. Now, I think a lot of that is being challenged in various ways. Some states are codifying it. You must have an agreement with a real estate professional to tour homes. And other states are saying no, you do not. And in fact, a few states are saying that is really not a good thing for consumers. To get them in a relationship like I was talking about last week, you're maybe under a buyer's brokerage agreement, you're pulling up to a luxury listing and about to introduce yourself to your buyer's agent for the very first time in your life, and you're already under a buyer's brokerage agreement, and you decide they don't know what they're doing, and then you want out of that agreement, and you can't easily get out of that agreement. That doesn't sound healthy to me. And I got to tell you, based on the stats, the chances of you getting a bad agent are a lot higher than you getting a good one. That's just a fact. And even agents with what might look like pretty decent volume might not know what they're doing. The practice of real estate is serious. We're not attorneys, but we're carrying out a legal act when we fill out contracts. We're authorized by the Florida Real Estate Commission and all the work they've done to fill in the check boxes on contracts, listing agreements, other forms that exist, and purchase and sale agreements. There's strategy to those, and that's important. And there are legal implications to every single checkbox. And then you have some real estate professionals who will get down in that additional language area and start writing things down. And that is very, very not cool. We don't do that. We have an attorney that we have on retainer, and they will write language for us strategically for the things we know we do repeatedly to put our buyers or sellers in the best possible light when they're making offers or receiving offers. When we receive an offer from a buyer for one of our listing clients, we'll sometimes push that offer back in certain ways to balance out the nature of the terms and conditions, for example. Same is true on the buy side. None of that happens on a very first handshake at a luxury home. It just doesn't. Buyer brokerage agreements shouldn't happen then. They shouldn't happen on a phone call after you just registered on Zillow and got some random agent who's paying a couple of $100,000 a year to buy your lead and more, and they get you on the phone and say, that's great, love to show you some homes. You're going to have to sign a buyer brokerage agreement with me before we can do it. You've got to be joking that that is our industry. Wow. But we do comply. We do have to have compliance for legal purposes, because that National Association of Realtors participation in a settlement with the Department of Justice is a legal item. It's not necessarily in statutes, but it exists, and it is a legal concept. In the state of Florida, it applies in a certain way. In the state of Mississippi, it applies in a different way, because state law does supersede the National Association of Realtor rules. What does this have to do with coffee? Everything. Because if you're coming down to 30A and you're meeting with the first agent you talk to on the phone because you want them to unlock doors for you and nothing else, that's fine. We've helped a lot of people remedy that error after they purchased a home that they don't really enjoy. But if you're coming down here and you've picked 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, even 10 people to say hello to, which wouldn't be a bad idea. Have them show you a home. Tell them you're not going to sign a buyer's brokerage agreement with them, but that you will sign a showing agreement for that home. See how they act. See how they behave. Take the measure of them and the compatibility that they have with you and you with them. And if it works and you're lucky out of the box, the first person you talk to is great, go forward with them. Cancel the other showings if you want to. But don't come down here with the mindset that you don't need to explore people as much as homes. Have coffee with real estate professionals who aren't buying leads but are trying to create relationships so they can help you and your family get here and enjoy your life in the in-between for July 9th, 2026. Thanks for watching.